Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of the Grandstand here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I'm, as always, your host, AR the Ohio Patriot. And for today's episode, we're going to talk about good old Hollywood actor Ben Savage trying to run for Congress on an anti-life and anti-2A platform that should honestly, just like every other leftist in this country, every other Democrat in this country, should be non disqualification from office at this point. The fact that it's not is absolute bullshit because of the fact that you were directly infringing upon two rights of the other American people, that being the right to life and the right to the Second Amendment. But of course, who is Savage trying to run against or run for is what it is right now? He's trying to run for the U.S. congressional seat that piece of shit Adam Schiff is vacating to try to run for U.S. Senate to replace Dianne Feinstein is what it is. And yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit entirely, dude. Honestly, I would love to see something where it's like, if you're a Hollywood actor or something like that, you're just qualified from running for office is what it is now. End story, period. That's what it needs to be, dude. It needs to be like, fuck off, dude. Like, no, you're not bringing your fucking fame into this shit. You're not bringing your fucking leftist bullshit into this shit. And there's a reason why I did for today, the California politics, other states thing. And it's because Ben Savage is running on that fucking exact platform. He literally, in his platform, we're going to talk about here in a couple minutes, dude, talks about actually trying to make the rest of America conform to California gun laws. How about you go fuck yourself, you Hollywood fucking cunt? How about that, Ben Savage? How about you go back to fucking Hollywood with all your fucking pedophile buddies and tell them to go fuck off a cliff? How about that? How about that, buddy boy? Seriously, we're all sick and tired of your fucking communist bullshit, dude. Because you clearly are running on a communist platform, Ben Savage. Go fuck yourself, Ben Savage. You know, you and your fucking brother Fred are two of the biggest scumbags in Hollywood, dude. Like, Fred is a known fucking molester, by the way, at this point, dude. He's molested, like, many, many women and shit over the years. No one would be surprised if he did it with kids as well, for that matter, dude. Hell, him and Ben Savage were groomed since they were fucking children by other child molesters. So would it really surprise anybody that became child molesters like fucking Seth Green did? Sure as hell wouldn't surprise me at all, dude. But anyway, yeah, we don't need fucking more pedophiles than fucking U.S. government do is what it is. In fact, we need to be having way less at this point. And the way to have way less of those people is to get rid of about 50 congressional seats out of California, where they have 50 fucking two at this point right now. Meanwhile, you have other states like Wyoming and Montana and stuff like that that have a single congressional seat, dude. That's the problem right now. You got California with 52, you got New York with like 20 something, and you have all these other states that have like a couple to like a handful, if nothing else. You know, if not like singletons is what it is, dude. And as I said before, it's like if we did really truly have a just country at this point where it's equal representation across the board right now, you would basically have 5 congressional seats from every single state, dude. There would be no, oh, you can take California, you can take Florida or Texas or whatever the case be, and oh my God, you're gonna win because of that shit or whatever. It's like, nah, dude. You have to go campaign in every single state across this country and compete to win and actually get what needed to be gotten for the overall amount for the electoral college is what it is. And that would make for a way, way better presidential race is what it would be, dude. Because you'd actually have true Americanism returning again, true nationalism returning again, true American populism returning again, etc., etc. So anyway, we're gonna start out with this this article before we go to Ben's stupid ass platform. Here is what it is. We got Boy Meets World actor Ben Savage announces bid for seat Schiff is vacating. It says actor. Sorry, I'm trying to pop that up there. Actor Ben Savage, star of sitcom Boy Meets World, has announced his bid for Adam Schiff, Representative Adam Schiff's congressional seat, which, by the way, is not Adam Schiff's congressional seat. It's District 30 in California is what it actually is. That's why I'm so sick and tired of these people. They'll sit there and be like, oh, it's this person's congressional seat. No, it's not, dude. It's District 30 of that fucking state. Just because some fucking known douchebag was holding it for a decade or whatever it was, dude, doesn't mean anything. Anyway, yeah, it says 2024 Democrat member running for California's open Senate seat, being the one that Dianne Feinstein is vacating now. So, in an Instagram post Monday, Savage said he is running for Congress because it's time to restore faith in government by offering reasonable initiative and compassionate solutions to our country's most pressing issues. Okay, so right there, Restore faith in government. Government is not God, Ben Savage, but of course you and your fucking leftist buddies who worship the fucking devil would think that shit. Because y'all are fucking demons, because y'all want a goddamn theocracy at this point. You want a technocracy, you want everything, including a democracy, which we are not, never have been, by the way, because you're a bunch of fucking scumbags. And that's the entire point of the matter. So, anyway, continuing back to this bunch of insanity that Ben Savage is pushing here, and why he should be DQ'd from the actual running is what it is right now. It says Savage 42, starring as Corey Matthews in ABC's Boy Meets World from 93 to 2000. Reprised the role on Disney Channel's reboot Girl Meets World from 2014 and 2017, which, by the way, that version sucked ass. I'm surprised it lasted as long as it did. Quote, I am a proud Californian, union member, and longtime resident of District 30 who comes from a family of unwavering service to our country and community, Savage wrote in his Instagram post. I firmly believe in standing up for what is right, ensuring equality and expanding opportunities for all. Yeah, that's some fucking commie dictator bullshit he's talking about right there, dude. Fuck him. It's a quote, and it's time for new and passionate leaders who can help move our country forward, added Savage, who is running as a Democrat. Yeah. Move our country forward by running for the party that literally created the KKK, BLM, Jim Crow, and every other thing that was wrong with this nation for the past 200 fucking years, dude. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. Why don't you pull your fucking head out of your ass, Ben Savage, and just fuck off back to Hollywood, bro? Seriously. I mean that deadly seriously, man. Like, just fuck off back to where you came from, dude. Nobody wants your leftist commie bullshit in our fucking country, dude. At a federal level. Anyways, Savage continued on and said, leaders who want to see the government operating at maximum capacity, unhindered by political division and special interests. So you want smaller government by making government bigger? That doesn't make any sense, dude. Because that's technically what it would be at this point. If you want government maximizing capacity, dude, operating at maximum capacity, it would be smallest government possible at this point. Then, anyway, said Ben Savage ran for a seat in the West Hollywood City Council last year, listing priorities on his campaign website that included focusing on funding for local law enforcement, healthcare services, and housing. By the way, what they don't say about the local law enforcement funding is how it basically would be like continued background check stuff and everything else like we're talking about here in a minute as well as what it is, dude. So yeah, it's of course the hell making it so it looks like Ben Savage is actually a good guy when he's a scumbag piece of shit is what it is. Schiff, who is a known deep state fuckboy and was on the House Select Committee who investigated January 6th, officially launched a bid for U.S. Senate in January, making him one of the multiple Democrat lawmakers vying for replacing retiring Senator Dianne Feinstein. That entire Senate seat should be gone too at this point, dude. I'm going to say it like it is. That entire congressional seat where Ben Savage is running, District 30, should be gone, and the entire fucking U.S. Senate seat for Dianne Feinstein's been holding for like the past 40 fucking years, and that should be gone as well, dude. But anyway, moving on to Ben Savage's bullshit platform here from his actual website, Savage for Congress. Oh my god, dude. This is just, oh my lord, sir. So, this is his whole thing here that we're going to talk about right now. We're going to savage Ben Savage in this one dude because he is a fucking scumbag. Yeah, it's got priorities. Laser focused on making every neighborhood and every Angelonio safer. I think some of this is involved with the city council run is what it was. He said, I support a robust public safety presence to keep the community safe and vibrant. We need to support our law enforcement officers and provide them with the resources they need to keep businesses, residents, and visitors safe. Public safety also means increasing funding for community health services and clinical caseworkers. So basically, he's pro, instead of having, like, it sounds to me like what he's pro is not having cops, it's having fucking, like, random people that are doing mental ill shit is what it is, dude. Random psychiatrists, psychologists doing police work is what it is. I think he's on here said, I also believe in reforms and improvements to police-citizen interactions as your congressman, which, by the way, saying that right there is not meant disqualification from office, just like I mentioned the other day with presidency. You can't say you're going to do something as president when you're not president. Just like the same thing with douchebag Ben Savage not being able to say he can do things as a congressman when he's not in fucking Congress. So yeah, you're already disqualified yourself from the running, dude. Fuck off. But anyway, continues on here and says he would support incentive training for police officers, advocate for checks and balances to root out corruption, periodic and recurring background checks, whatever the hell that means. Like, are you talking about periodic and recurring background checks to become a law enforcement officer? Or are you talking about periodic and recurring background checks to be able to continue to be on the force and have access to firearms and stuff? Because that whole thing is just super confusing to me in general. It is what it is. And he's on here and says psychological exams for new officers. How about this, dude? How about you equate that one, Ben Savage, your psychological exam, to officers, and put it straight to politicians or civil servants like yourself, buddy? Because that's what we need right now. Anybody that's running for federal office, especially, should immediately have to take a psych eval, dude. And if they fail, guess what? Lock them up in the fucking rubber room where they belong, dude. Anyway, continues on here and said, improved system of community policing. Yeah, good luck with that one, dude. You're not having cops walk the beat anymore. And then work to foster trust between underserved communities and law enforcement. That's just a bunch of BS in general is what that is, dude. And that's more to the fact of if you're going to foster trust, it starts by getting the people of those communities to actually trust police again, which is going to be very hard unless you're having cops walk the fucking beat and interact with the actual police. Actually, by the way, for that matter, also come from the place of the actual police, not being an hour or two away in some other random community and then having other shit happen is what it is, dude. So, yeah, it's a bunch of BS is what it is. I sent you a link, brother. I don't know why you're not in here right now. So, should be on the Discord there. But anywho, continuing on with Ben Savage's thing here. Says, solving homelessness. I don't believe in leaving individuals suffering from homelessness on the side of the street. Okay, then why don't you house them in your own home, buddy? Your $1 million mansion is what it is there. Of course, you're not going to, just like the rest of Hollywood, dude. You refuse to do these things. Savage says it's time for a compassionate, practical, and permanent approach to solving homelessness. As your congressman, again, disqualifying himself from the running, I will fight for more affordable housing options, resources for veterans as they enter civilian life, temporary and long-term solutions to housing that leads to permanent housing, funding and resources for medical, clinical, and psychological care, reproductive and maternity care for moms and soon-to-be moms experiencing homelessness. Okay, so you're acting as if you're pro-life with that one because it's all in bold lettering and stuff like that, but then it goes down further and talks about him being pro-Roe versus Wade is what it is, dude. So, anyway, continues on, says job training and placement assistance. The thing about it is, okay, all this stuff he's talking about right now, dude, that's great and all, dude. When you look into homelessness in this country, about half of it is actually because of drug issues and stuff. So until you're going to fix the drug, like, and I will agree with him on one thing here right now, right? The psychological care. Because there's a lot of people who are nuts that are on the fucking streets right now, dude. But there's also a lot of people who are junkies on the streets right now who don't give a fuck about actually being in a home and having an actual place to call home. They just want to get their next fix. They just want to get their next high. So they don't give a shit about any kind of like job training or job placement or anything like that, dude. No, they just want the money, or they just want the drugs to go get high again for the rest of their life is what it is. So it's a bunch of shit entirely, man. Anyway, continuing on here, it says allocate more resources to proven nonprofit organizations that will offer personalized treatment and care for those suffering from mental health and addiction issues. Oh, you mean like that one in Philadelphia that gives fucking drug kits to junkies? You mean like that one, bro? Because that's what you're talking about, nonprofits, dude. Or are you talking about the Soros-funded nonprofits that are a bunch of NGOs who are trying to bring a bunch more illegals here that are just going to be more of a problem and a more of a burden to our society by taking the homes of American citizens? And that's the thing, right? This guy comes from California, a state that has one of the highest rates for homelessness because of the fucking cost of rent and the cost of living. If it wasn't for them refusing to build actually affordable housing in that state, dude, you would actually have people that wouldn't be mobile homeless living in RVs and shit like that, dude. So yeah, you want to fix something, Ben Savage? How about instead of running for Congress, how about you run for fucking state rep seat or something like that in California and fix it at a state level there, buddy, because it's a state issue with you being one of the problems right now, dude. Seriously. Anywho, continuing on here for Savage's platform, it said, time to build more shelters and housing is now. Again, we just talked about that a minute ago. And they continue on, so we must treat the emergency crisis of homelessness with seriousness, urgency, and compassion. Okay, then give up $1 million of your own fortune, dude, and have it solved that way. And tell everybody, every one of your buddies in Hollywood to do the same at this point. Have them pledge millions of dollars of their own personal wealth to actually fixing homelessness by actually creating affordable housing for people. But of course, you're not going to do that because it would mean your own personal wealth goes down by a shit ton. So, anyway. And then continuing on here, his next thing was affordable housing. Said affordable housing solutions can help solve homelessness, promote new home ownership, reduce cost of living, and keep people in California. It is an issue worthy of our time and requires innovative thinking towards presenting realistic solutions. I am not in favor of build while being mindful of the effects of growth on our communities, infrastructure, environment, and traffic. As your congressman, again for the third time, disqualified himself from the running, I will support funding the construction of permanently affordable housing units and advocate for renters' rights, protection for tenants, and affordable options for the most vulnerable. Again, you could do this same exact thing there, Ben Savage, by giving up $1 million of your own wealth there, dude, and pledging and doing a pledge to make sure that every one of your Hollywood buddies does the same right now. And you could fix it in a millisecond, dude. But that would mean actually making yourself poorer in the process. And of course, you're not going to do that. That's why you're running for office. So you can be an insider trading piece of shit, just like Nancy Pelosi and company. Anyway, continuing on here, fourth one was protect organized labor. Those who would destroy or further limit the rights of organized labor, those who would cripple collective bargaining or prevent organization of the unorganized, do a disservice to the cause of democracy. Supposedly a quote from JFK. I don't know if that's true or not, but again, even JFK was a fucking idiot back in the day because we're not a democracy, we're a constitutional republic. And he would know that because he was killed by a gun. So, you know. And then they continue on. So, as a union member since 1987, which, by the way, when he talks about union member, he's talking about literally the Screen Actors Guild, dude, is where he's talking about unionizing there from 2 years after I was born. Said, I am dedicated to protecting unions and their right to organize and act on behalf of workers. And again, SAG does nothing except fuck over everybody pretty much. It does nothing to help the actual, key grips and stuff like that on movie sets or TV shows or, the guy getting everybody coffee and stuff like that. No, it helps your bitch ass as an actor make more money and keep more money. And actually, if I'm not mistaken, because of it was something with Gary Coleman back in the day when his parents fucked him over in the 80s and stuff like that from money and stuff like that. It was something with SAG, if I'm not mistaken, had to do with this. And it was them making a weird trust account for every child actor to where it was like X amount of money gets put in that just so that their parents couldn't be a bunch of frivolous scumbags and take all their cash is what it is and use it before they turned 18. So, anywho, continuing on, says Ben Savage said, as your next congressman, again, for the fourth time disqualifying myself, I will work for further advocate to advance unions and workers' rights, including passing federal protections for both and eliminating the right to work for less laws in order to guarantee the right to unionize. What a fucking douchebag, dude. Anyway, continuing on with his fifth thing, it says, renovate our community. Our local economies are still recovering from COVID-19 shamdemic, let's call it what it really is, and ensuring economic shutdown. Yeah, something Gavin Newsom did for 2 fucking years in California, by the way, and should have seen him removed from office immediately for tyrannical acts against American people, as well as crowded community, for that matter, for all the people he mass murdered in California as governor. Anywho, he said, we're facing another crisis with crippling inflation. Yeah, thanks to fucking Biden giving billions of dollars to Ukraine and a bunch of scumbag Democrats like yourself helping him do it, asshole. So we must do all we can to get our economy and small businesses back on track. Here's how. Encourage entrepreneurship by making it simpler to start and run a small business. Ensuring small businesses aren't subjected to harsher regulations and higher taxes than major corporations. create millions of jobs through additional funding and healthcare, education, and infrastructure. By the way, everything he just said right there in the first 3 sentences there, dude, he could do himself as an actor with millions of fucking dollars in the bank. He could start his own small business and employ workers in California and make this a reality and then run on that platform. But he's choosing not to. Anyway, continuing on, it says encourage innovation in areas of tech, medical, and automotive industries. Encourage availability and normalize trade schools. I actually do support that part, by the way, which I've said it before, and I've run that platform every time I've tried to run for office in the past couple of years now, was a 6-year trade program in schools, dude. Teach these kids from middle school through high school and have them do on-job training. Junior and senior years is what it would be then. Anyway, it's to support America's workforce by increasing the minimum wage, ensuring that all make a living wage. And this is some Nina Turner commie bullshit right there, dude, because again, we are not a country where a minimum wage is meant to be a living wage. It's meant to be the minimum someone makes that is an unskilled worker. In most cases, it's supposed to be for teenage kids that are flipping burgers or something like that, dude. It's to get you experience so that you can then go on to have a better profession, not be a fucking 25, 30-year-old, 35-year-old, 40-year-old, whatever it is, 50-year-old, something person like that, working at a McDonald's for minimum wage, dude, because you had no actual skill set in your life, because you're a high school dropout or something like that is what it is, dude. So, yeah. That one's a bunch of shit entirely. And all a minimum wage increase would do and make a living wage, dude, is it would increase everything else across the board, and you would have nobody be able to afford anything at that point, dude. Your burger at McDonald's would cost like $57 a piece at that point. Then it's been proven it's across the board at this point, dude. Or it'd be even worse. It wouldn't even be that. It would be, instead of having actual workers at McDonald's and other restaurants like that and stuff like that, do fast food joints, you would just have pure automation take over then, like we're already seeing in that one Texas one currently. So anyway, continues on, says bring manufacturing and energy jobs back to America. Yeah, something him and his Hollywood buddies all supported going to China like 20 years ago, by the way, when he was in his 20s. It says repairing broken infrastructure while updating and reinforcing infrastructure in good standing for the future. You mean something that people like me have been talking about for at least the past 6 years now and has not happened? Or something that President Trump was trying to do in his first term as president of the United States and never got done because fucking Democrats were tying his hands behind his back the entire time? Yeah, you mean like that shit, Ben Savage? Mm-hmm. And we're continuing on. Ben's thing on education says, I will work each and every day to, quote, advocate for students and protect equitable funding for public schools. I'll also stand with teachers and teachers unions as they fight for better resources and higher pay. Oh, you mean the same teachers that are doing indoctrination shit and trying to turn kids trans and gay and everything else like that now, buddy? What is this now, the 5th or 6th time he's disqualified himself by saying as congressman? I'll fight for education initiatives, including free universal pre-K. Okay, who else paying for that, buddy? Seriously, it's not going to be your tax dollars. So you're not going to pay taxes as a fucking congressman, buddy. Universal free school meals, breakfast and lunch, and free community college. Again, who is paying for all this money? Ben Savage. Or is it going to be something where you just add more trillions of dollars to the national debt, you jerk off? Anyway, continuing on here, it says, restoring trust in government. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Again, this is some fucking rules for radicals communism right here, dude, for real. So now more than ever, we must restore trust in government. No, you must tell the government to fuck off and stop being a tyrannical bunch of cunts. Period. So we must restore civility and bring back mutual respect among neighbors, regardless of political affiliation. And start telling your leftist buddies to stop committing terrorist acts like Antifa did in Cop City there, dude. So we are better off when we come together and work on solutions that will improve the lives of American people. Also work to root out the involvement of special interest groups, major corporations, and super PACs in American politics, because they get involved, you lose your voice. What's funny is he says this while being in a state that has more super PACs and has more different political action committees and stuff like that in general that are special interestly funding people like current Ohio Senator Sherrod fucking Brown, while Sherrod's taking trips over there instead of being in East Palestine here fixing the fucking issues with the water and air quality, among other things. Well, the soil quality for that matter. And it's like, yeah, you want to talk about getting rid of special interest, dude? Then call on your fucking Hollywood buddies to stop funding this shit, dude. Because it's all you fucking people that, again, going back to the millionaire people stuff like that, dude. They're the ones putting all this money towards special interest groups, creating these super PACs and stuff like that, and then handing money to people in other states is what it is, dude. Which, by the way, in of itself, should be a federal felony right now, dude. That you should not be able to get any funding from out of state. If you were in the state of Ohio and you were running for U.S. Senate or Congress or whatever the case be, dude, you should have no funding outside of that state. And it should be the same thing with California for that matter. If you are running for Congress or Senate or whatever the case be there, you should be able to get no funding whatsoever from any other state for that matter, dude. Not from New York, not from Illinois, not from Ohio, not from Michigan, none of these places, dude. End of story. So, anyway. Continuing on here, it says affordable health care. We live in the greatest, wealthiest, and most advanced country on earth. I don't know if I'd say that 100% for the most advanced, actually. You'd be surprised with some of the stuff they got going on in other nations right now, dude. He said we should be taking care of our citizens as your congressman. Again, about 7th time disqualified right now. Savage said, I will support and advocate for a fundamental universal healthcare system that works and is held accountable with checks and balances. Oh, you mean like the universal healthcare that Canada has, where they're literally telling people to suicide themselves now, buddy? You mean like that universal healthcare system, Ben Savage? Or are you talking about, again, Canada's universal healthcare system where you have people who will get sick with something, and by the time that they actually get the cancer treatment they need, they're 4th stage end of life, dude. That's why Steven Crowder moved from Canada to America, by the way, because he had a medical issue and was able to get better health care in the United States because of not having universal bullshit is what it is, dude. And that's the thing. Anytime people put universal in front of anything else, dude, like I just assume it's some commie bullshit is what it should be. That should be what it's called, actually. It should be communist healthcare system is what it actually is, dude, because that's really is at the end of the day. It's communist Marxist BS is what it is. Anyway, continuing on, said this fundamental system should include dental, hearing, vision, both long-term and short-term care, both in and outpatient care, mental health services, reproductive and medical care. By reproductive, he means abortion care is what he's really talking about on that one, dude. It's just that every time you hear a leftist say shit like that, deal with reproductive care, they always mean abortions. It's just code for abortion. And the cost of prescription drugs, again, prescription drugs meaning probably abortion pills as well as everything else for that matter. He said, in Congress, I'll also work with these affordable healthcare initiatives, increase funding for mental health and substance abuse services, capping drug prices, which we're already doing, by the way, and regulating big pharma companies. Yeah, pretty hard to do that, dude, when you're in their fucking pocket. And so is every other congressman for that matter already. Savage continued on, said, additionally, we should aggressively seek medical advances to prevent and cure diseases. I will support problematic funding. Should be program funding for these developments. And as I was saying earlier with the whole supporting abortion stuff, here we go. Women's rights. I firmly believe in supporting women's health care and empowering women to make decisions and choices about their own lives. After the Supreme Court ruling in June 2022, it is important that we codify Roe versus Wade. In Congress, I will fight to protect the right to choose and expand protections and improve access to affordable health care. I will also fight to advance paid medical leave, claimed Ben Savage. And this is why I fucking hate these leftist dudes so goddamn much, because they are fucking tyrannical scumbags, dude. They are people who are anti-life. The entire point of the U.S. Constitution to begin with, and the entire point of having an American dream in this country, is life. It's life, liberty, property. You can't have the other two without life, dude. And to sit there and tell people, oh, I'm gonna work to codify Roe versus Wade, a Supreme Court decision that should have never been actually involved in this country to begin with, dude. That lasted for nearly 5 decades and mass murdered, mass genocided who knows how many people. Literally hundreds of millions at minimum. Probably billions. I'm guessing, honestly, it's several billion worldwide at this point. And the fact of the matter is, abortion is literally the number one leading cause for black child murder in this country, dude. That's what it is. It's death. It's always been death, and it will always be death. And that's exactly what Hollywood supports. They support death. It's disgusting. Anyway, continuing on. Let's see what else we got here. I know we got some anti-gun shit on here too that I'm going to talk about here in a minute. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's the last one. It's the gun stuff is the third one down. Okay, so we got environmental protection. So America should serve as an example of environmental standards throughout the world. Oh, you mean like how Ohio is now a giant fucking mess because of the EPA being a bunch of shitheads is what it is, dude? And then he continues on and says California state environmental measures should be used as a model for our federal environmental policy. No, they shouldn't be, you jackass, because what you're talking about is literally banning gas operated shit and then having EV crap where you have a grid that can't even support your actual electricity in your homes, let alone your electric cars, dude. And then for the eighth or so time, he disqualified himself by saying, as congressman, I will support environmental regulations that keep us safe, clean, and prosperous, encourage our car manufacturers to reduce carbon emissions, reasonably regulate gas, oil, and coal companies to keep gas and utility prices down, which, by the way, China's going the opposite of that right now. They're making coal factories like fucking crazy over there because they understand that coal is the future and always has been. And there's no way to possibly innovate without it. It's why when you see electric vehicles on the side of the fucking road, there is a diesel powered generator charging them up, dude. It's a bunch of crap, dude. It's literally fucking fantasy lands which people are living in, dude. Because they have their heads up their ass is what it is. Anyway, it continues on. It says ensuring infrastructure improvements and developments are in place to prevent an overload of California's power grid. And again, whose fault is that? It's the people that voted these people in is what it is, dude. People like Ben Savage. Again, Savage continued on and said, invest in sustainable and innovative practices to support animal welfare and the environment, whatever the hell that means. And then oppose offshore drilling and other measures to protect our coasts. Yeah, good luck ever having an actual functioning country, you fucktard. Anyway, second to last, which is basically him embracing all the trans shit here. Embracing diversity, expanding equality, which really what they mean is superiority because they're a bunch of supremacists is what it really is, dude, at the end of the day. Said, I am proud to be an ally of the LGBTQIA plus community. The diversity in Los Angeles is what makes it unique and special. We can no longer tolerate discrimination or hate speech of any kind. As your congressman, disqualifying himself for the ninth time, I will embrace diversity and work tirelessly to expand equality, including equal pay. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you, you fucking scumbag pedophile. And then last but not least, Savage said, end gun violence. When is enough enough? Regardless of political affiliation, as Americans, we should be fed up with gun violence in our streets. It's not gun violence, you fucktard. It's literally just violence, number one. And if it's anything, it's actually gang violence because it's a bunch of gang bangers that are committing the fucking violence is what it is, dude. The gun's not committing the violence. It's the people behind the gun. Anyway, said, in our streets, communities, and schools, dedicated to ending gun violence. Here's how: expanding waiting periods between gun purchases. Yeah, go fuck yourself, you infringing cocksucker. Banning weapons of war. Define what that actually is, first of all, jackass, and then we'll talk about it after the fact. But you can't do that because if you did, you would be called out for being the anti-gun scumbag who doesn't know a goddamn thing about the Second Amendment ever. And that's you're a fucking piece of shit, Ben Savage. Fuck you. Further limit magazine capacities, so basically infringing on the Bruin and Heller rulings is what he's talking about there. Embody aspects of California's gun policy at a federal level. Yeah, go fuck yourself, Ben Savage. Educate children about guns and gun safety. I'm actually going to stop talking about that for a second because in the first place, I have talked about that many, many times. And what the hell do people think the Hot Page Education Network is about, dude? We, just like the rest of the subsidiaries we're going to create eventually across this country, are to actually teach kids about guns and gun safety by doing basic safety training courses and stuff like that when we can actually fund ourselves at some point in the future, hopefully through massive lawsuits and have a bunch of money in our coffers after the fact. We will actually be doing that stuff for adults and kids both, actually, that want to learn proper gun safety is what it is, dude. So, yeah. What he's really talking about is basically telling people, oh, the guns are so scary and here's gun safety. Then this is increasing a gun buyback and anti-gun trafficking initiatives to keep guns off the streets. Again, you cannot buy something back you never owned, you jackass. All you're talking about is destroying American, in most cases, American history, actually, because a lot of the guns that people are selling in these gun buybacks are old people whose husbands or uncles or grandfathers or whatever it was died, left them a gun that could be worth $2, $3, $4,000, and they're going to go give it to some cop for like a couple $100 gift card at most, and then that gun's going to be destroyed. It's just ridiculous entirely. And then he continued on and finishes off with prevent anyone who is prohibited from owning a gun from having one. There already is a thing on the books about that, buddy. It's if you are a felon, you are a prohibited person, dude. It's until you have your record cleaned out and you have your felony charges expunged and stuff like that through having rights restoration happening. It's only until then that you actually have the ability to do stuff. Until then, you cannot own a firearm in this country. That's even after you've served prison time and stuff like that, dude. So this is the problem again. It's these fucking Hollywood douchebags like Ben Savage and stuff like that, dude, that don't know the first fucking thing about the Second Amendment, don't know the first thing about firearms, don't know the first thing about gun laws, period, for that matter. They're already on the books in most cases. And then they want to sit there and lecture the rest of us about stuff. And you know what I say to that? Go fuck yourself, Ben Savage. Go fuck yourself and tell everybody else in Hollywood that's one of your pedophile buddies to go fuck themselves too. Because we're sick and tired of listening to your commie bullshit, dude. We, the American people, are fucking over it. We're fed up with your crap, and we're not going to take it anymore, dude. You want to fix something in California, Ben Savage? How about talking to the lawmakers at the state level about fixing the gerrymandering they've created in California, where you have what should be an entire county area being one district, but it goes like this chunk of a county, and then it goes into this little sliver across the fucking coastline where all you rich elitist assholes live is what it is. Up there in West Hollywood area. And that's how you gerrymander a district blue like a motherfucker is what it is, dude. And that's the problem right there. And nobody ever talks about that stuff. Except for me and a few other people here on YouTube is what it is. That are pro 2A folks is what it is. So, yeah. The problem really is deal with communism is what it is, dude. And the story. And until we deal with that, nothing's ever going to change. And until we down the amount of congressional seats in California, nothing's ever going to change what it is, dude, at a federal level. Or until we just completely get rid of the federal government entirely and just go back to state level stuff and just, do a 10th Amendment of states' rights at this point, which is what we should be doing anyway at this point, dude, honestly. And I believe truthfully with the way things are going currently and just, listening to Ben Savage's bullshit here is what it is. 100%, I think we're heading towards a civil war in this country, dude. And I don't know how long it's going to be. If it's going to be 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, whatever it's going to be. I think it's going to happen in the next 5 years, honestly, if not sooner than that. I would say, truthfully, by the time the 2024 election cycle comes around, I could see some serious shit popping off right now. And the thing is, when you have all these anti-gunners that are sitting there talking about police and law enforcement and stuff like that, that's what it is, dude. Yet they want to sit there and lecture you about, Second Amendment stuff while they themselves have armed security everywhere is what it is, dude. It's like, nah, bro. Just shut the hell up is what it is. Until you want to sit down at a table and have an actual discussion about the Second Amendment and about why it was created to actually stop tyranny from ever taking over again and to stop tyrannical governments is what we're seeing right now currently, by the way. Until you actually want to have that conversation, just shut the fuck up. And it's as simple as that. Like, America is over y'all. America is over you people, dude. Hell, if Ben Savage wanted to fix anything, dude, he would be the first in the line at this point and start outing pedophiles in Hollywood by name. But he's not going to do that because he's probably on the fucking list himself, is my guess, honestly, at this point, dude. Or if he's not, he's done some other shady shit that they got on him now, is what it is, dude. And that's what it is in most of these cases. These, A-list, B-list, C-list actors, whatever it is, dude. It might not be that they were, banging a bunch of kids or whatever the case be, but it might have been like, some random fucking Hollywood guy, like a Ben Savage type or whatever the case be, got some BJ by like a 15, 16-year-old girl at some party one time. And now they're holding that shit over him because she said she was 18 or 19 is what it was, dude. And I think it's the same thing with people like Ben Affleck or Matt Damon for that matter as well, man. These guys might not be like actual like hardcore child molesters, but they're protecting the ones that are because they're got mutually assured destruction shit on them is what it is. So, yeah, it's just a bunch of crap all the way around. And like I said, I'm sick and tired of it. And I feel like we're definitely heading towards a time period in history where we're finally going to have America right itself in general. We're finally going to have the world right itself in general when it comes to people wanting freedom and people demanding freedom. And it starts by actually having countries embrace the Second Amendment of the Constitution of the United States and doing what needs to be done there. And it's as simple as that. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you all in the next one.